So my name is Gregg Petersen. I'm the Regional Director for Cohesity, looking after the emerging region, which includes Middle East and Africa currently. So Cohesity is what we determine as a real modern, true data management platform. It's built on a single file system called SpanFS, and on that single file system, it gives us the ability to give customers the ability to run all their workloads on a single file system, irrelevant of location of the data. One of the biggest challenges we find today is what we call data fragmentation. So where is the data actually sitting? And so using Cohesity Helios, which is a single GUI interface, we're able to give our customers the visibility, first of all, visibility of the data irrelevant of location. So that could be in an edge or a remote branch location, a main data center, or in a cloud environment. So irrelevant of location, through Cohesity Helios, we can provide you a visibility of the data. The data all sits on a single file system, and that data can be backup data, it can be some sort of secondary data or NAS data or CIFS, NFS, S3 bucket or unstructured data as it's commonly known. And on that same file system, you can run all your dev and test, your analytics and everything. And all that can be accessed through Cohesity Helios, as I've already mentioned. And on top of that, we have a marketplace, so the ability to get third-party applications. So we're actually bringing the compute to the data, so unlocking the true potential of data. That is all wrapped around our ransomware protection, or what we call threat defense architecture. Now that threat defense architecture is very interesting because ransomware, as you know, is a hot topic today. And what we really talk about is an architecture around ransomware. So first of all, let's talk about the data. Data, for me, entry-level ticket to the game should be encrypted and it should be immutable. But this is an interesting point because what is immutable data and how do you make your data immutable is what we tell customers. So you should be asking your legacy vendors, how are you making my data immutable? If you're using things like SQL databases to make my data immutable, well, that's no good because any Windows operating system or any Windows database is a fantastic point of entry for the bad guys or ransomware. So that's the first thing is your data. Second of all, how do you access the data? Do you support multi-factor authentication, quorum, or rollback access control, RBAC? So it's really how you're accessing the data. And on top of that is, how are you detecting? What tools are you using? Proactive tools to do analytics. For example, we use artificial intelligence and machine learning. So while we're performing the backups, we're actually detecting for any anomalies. This is not only proactive, but can be reactive as well. So when the bad guys come in your environment, you've detected it and you can take action. On top of all of that, we do now know that data and IT and governance is now merged. So, how do you report back to risk and compliance and say, right, we've not only detected the issues, but we're also going to address the issues, and this is how we're going to do it. Everything that we provide on-prem, we're born in the cloud, we provide the same in the hyperscalers. So we give you all this protection in AWS, or it's our DMAS offering, which provides backup as a service, DR as a service, and we also now have Fort Knox, which is governance and compliance as a service. So think of it as a vault for your data, right? So data that cannot be touched, it cannot be accessed, it's in a vault for governance and compliance purposes. And it also gives you an improved SLA or RTO, RPO in order to be able to access this data in a vault. Think of tapes and how secure they were and how cheap they were. Now we provide very similar functionality, but in a secure environment in a hyperscaler, such as AWS as an example. So the visibility I spoke about, location of the data, on-prem, data center, remote branches, or hyperscaler, or cloud, local service provider, and then ransomware protection again, on-prem, in the branches, and in the hyperscalers, or on a local cloud provider. So as I mentioned to you before, we don't use any operating system or databases to encrypt our data. It's a file system that's written by Cohesity called SpanFS. And this file system allows us to encrypt the data. It's using our code on our file system, and therefore nobody can access it. Irrelevant of the location again. So that can be on-prem or in the cloud, or a local service provider, by the way, which is very popular in countries where data sovereignty potentially is a challenge and they don't want to use the hyperscalers. We have local service providers that can provide all the same functionality. And by the way, when we talk about data protection or backup, so let's talk about, because challenges will come and challenges will happen and you will need to recover, right? So we give you the same ability and the same SLAs in terms of recoverability, whether it's on-prem or in the cloud. And it can be file level recovery, it can be granular level recovery, and also maybe instant mass restore, the ability to recover hundreds of machines in minutes, irrelevant of location of the machines, whether it's on-prem or in the cloud. So true data management through a single GUI interface no matter where the data sits. This is the number one. No other vendor can provide this to you, right? Whether it's on-prem or in a hyperscaler. So data fragmentation challenges addressed. True ransomware protection on cloud, on-prem or in a remote data center branch. Also the ability to manage all your data, whether it's backup data, target data, unstructured data, NAS data, all your secondary storage in a hyper-convergent environment. No other vendor can do that for you as well. Yeah, good question. So we're 100% channel-focused business. We have distribution model with our partners, connected to obviously our distributors. We encourage, and all our partners and our distributors must have certifications on Cohesity. There's no cost to be certified, so it's a very good entry point for partners to become a partner. And typically, yes, we're looking for partners who understand data management and data protection as well as storage and hybrid cloud environments. Any partner, and the majority of partners nowadays get it, right? They understand the hybrid cloud model, they understand data protection and backup, they understand storage or secondary storage and NAS environment. So yeah, that helps. But our training program is very extensive. It's very deep dive technical for your pre-sales and your engineering team. So we'll help you get certified and really put you on a road to be able to go and generate leads and drive business for our channel partners. Yeah, 100%. So any partner who becomes a Cohesity service provider is automatically registered as a normal partner. However, we have service providers who use Cohesity for different reasons. Some service providers use it internally to protect their own data, which is just as important. And most of them are using Cohesity to then provide value-added services to their customers to generate revenue as a service provider. Things like backup as a service, DR as a service, governance and compliance as a service, locking people's data in a secure environment.